want to be safe. We all want to be warm. We all want to feel loved. Know the comfort of home. Want our children to grow.
Ain't that the truth? Amen to that. Well, welcome back to another episode of Common Ground, True Common Ground. That was the beautiful voice of Judy Cass singing her song, and Glenn Rothel's and Amy Sousey's song, Common Ground. And you'll get a chance to listen to that entire song at the end of every one of our podcasts because we love it. We think it's beautiful. How did we discover this song?
I went with Kat and a couple of friends to a club across the river, and Judy was playing, and she ended her set with this song. And just that day, we talked about the idea of our podcast, True Common Ground.
Right.
And Kat's a high school friend of Judy's. So I went up and introduced me. She knew me already from other stuff I had done, and I knew her from, projects I don't even remember, but I know we had crossed paths. And I asked her, could we have the song? It was like that. It was just like that. And she said, I love it. I love it. I told her what we were doing, and she said, sure.
Yeah.
Let's
talk about serendipity or fortuitous moments. Boy, that was confirmation to me. That was great. That was really great. Yep. Well, today we're going to talk to you. We're going to learn, all of us, about Mike Johnson, the new Speaker of the House. Mm-hmm. Mike, he was the fourth candidate after Kevin McCarthy was ousted from the House. And there's a lot of really interesting things about Mike Johnson you probably don't know because he kind of came in through a back door. He seems like a really nice guy, right? Have you seen this thing?
Yeah. Show the picture. This is like the kind of guy you want to sit down and have a cup of coffee with.
He's always smiling.
A regular guy.
Always happy.
Regular. Good old Mike.
Yeah. Wears those nice flannel shirts, always open top, that kind of thing.
Yeah, good guy.
Or as I think somebody called him Jim Jordan in a suit
with a jacket. He usually has a jacket on.
But actually, he's a little bit more dangerous than Jim Jordan, as you'll find out. Let's just talk about did a little bit of research on him because it's very important. This is a man who's second in line to the presidency of the United States. Okay, at a time when it's entirely possible that he could take on the presidency of the United States. So we should know who he is. He also is somebody who has immense power when it comes to the legislative branch of our government, right? Because everything that happens in Congress, he basically has to give it his imprimatur, his stamp of approval. And if he doesn't give it his stamp of approval, it never gets brought to the floor and it never gets put up for a vote. And since there are some pretty critical things that we're going to have to deal with, that's very important. So Mike Johnson, he's a politician. Okay, he served as the 56th Speaker of the state of the United States House of Representatives since October 25th, 2023. He was born in 1972. He's 51 years old. He comes from. He's the oldest of a family, 3 boys and a girl. There's a girl. Oh. Yeah, there is a girl in the family.
There's a girl in the family.
Yeah, they're not too happy about her, I'm sure, but, we'll find out. Open representative, his office, before that, he was a representative in the Louisiana 4th District since 2017. He is the least experienced Speaker of the House in 140 years.
Wow.
Okay?
Wow.
The least in 140 years. And
they had to dig kind of deep to find somebody with such lack of experience. Yeah. But they found him.
I think what they said to themselves is the more we know about any one of us Republicans,
the less we're going to want him.
The less anybody's going to want him because we're going to find out how corrupt we really are.
Right.
Anyway, okay, so this is an interesting, his spouse name is Kelly Larry. Her name is Kelly Larry. They were married in 1999 in a covenant marriage.
What is a covenant marriage?
A covenant marriage.
Explain that a little bit.
It's a marriage that makes it harder to get a divorce because marriage in and of itself is really, it's a contract between two people.
Right.
And then we embellish it with love and hope and dreams and ideas and things like that.
Spit and putty and glue.
His marriage is a little bit more on the contract side.
Okay.
He's a little bit more focused on the contract than anything else. So they set up a contract and a covenant marriage, which makes it actually quite difficult to opt for a divorce. Interestingly, his mom and dad had a divorce. Okay. When he was a kid, and so I think that has had an effect on his life.
So he wanted an ironclad contract.
Yes.
Okay.
And so much so that he and his wife appeared on ABC's Good Morning America to support Louisiana's newly passed marriage covenant law.
Marriage covenant law.
They have a marriage covenant
is there
law.
is there a non-binary or same-sex marriage covenant law?
No.
Do you think? No,
not at all.
Oh,
no.
all right. Okay.
Interestingly, you should mention that because Johnson wrote editorials for his local paper that called homosexuality inherently unnatural. That your race and creed and sex are what you are, while homosexuality and cross-dressing are things you do, he wrote. This is a free country. This is another quote from Michael. This is a free country, but we don't give special protections for every person's bizarre choices.
Bizarre, and I guess a covenant marriage isn't a bizarre choice. That's in the normal box. And the non-normal box would be just a regular marriage.
There you go.
Okay.
So you're getting him.
I'm figuring this guy out.
You're starting to understand what a wonderful Speaker of the House we really have.
To make decisions about all our lives.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he likes to be in the bedroom.
He likes to be in the bedroom.
That's his favorite spot, our bedroom, not necessarily his.
To tell us what we ought to be doing and not doing in the bedroom.
That's right. He's always been against a woman's right to choose. Okay. He is an ardent opponent of same-sex marriage.
Well, that goes with the course so far.
That's right.
Yeah, okay.
In Louisiana House, he proposed the Marriage and Conscience Act, preventing adverse treatment by the state of anyone based on their views on marriage. Now, this bill, in the view of critics, protects people who discriminate against same-sex marriage. It sounds like it protects same-sex marriage people, but it doesn't. It actually protects the people who discriminate against same-sex marriage. Nice guy. Really nice guy.
So I guess we're going to have a lot of people leaving the state of Louisiana now.
Oh,
if they can afford it. If they can afford it, they'll move over to the next state until they have to leave that one.
Right. In fact, he defended Louisiana's same-sex marriage ban before the Supreme Court in 2004.
And what came out of that?
Actually, they were able to hold the ban for some time. He did it again in 2014, but as you know, things have changed in our country, and he wasn't successful that time. He opposes the legalization of marijuana, and if you got a guy like Mike Johnson, you really need some marijuana every once in a while.
I was going to say, I could use a toke right now. Jeez.
This is not a fun guy. He's against all forms of abortion, regardless of reason or cause. Doesn't matter, incest, or rape. That's your problem. It's your problem. You have that baby because we said so. Now, of course, once the baby's born, not really that interesting.
No, it's a variation on Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah.
Margaret Atwood was right. This is what women are for, and this is what we're going to do with them, because that was their reason to even be brought into existence, to be baby machines.
Yeah. In fact, throughout his career, he has authored many bills aiming to restrict abortion access, including the Unborn Child Protection from Dismemberment Abortion Act. What a guy! What a guy!
Wait, back up. This what? Can you
The
explain that one?
The Unborn Child Protection from Dismemberment Abortion Act. What he's doing is he's going to a what they call far-term abortion, where the only way to remove the fetus at one time was to dismember it. That almost never happens. Almost never. Only in the case where the woman's life is at stake. And the child, the fetus has to be removed or she dies, okay? But he decided, now let's wrap that word in there because words have power.
Right. The word is creepy.
Yeah.
It makes you think that we're not going to allow gremlins to climb inside a woman's body and saw limbs off of an unborn child
Right.
because it's so creepy. But
disgusting.
it's also so not real.
Right.
Yeah.
But they're real good at that.
I'm glad he spends so much time at our expense protecting himself, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much.
Huh.
Now here's the catch, and this you'll find this to be very much the truth across all right to lifers. Okay, they're very, very focused on the life of the embryo, the life of the unborn child. But once the child is born, not so much. He is a strong supporter of the NRA and doesn't want to deal with any of those annoying common sense gun laws. And he's made that very, very clear throughout. Now, of course, he's receiving quite a bit of money from the NRA and will continue to receive that. He gets an A rating from the NRA. So as long as the child is born, he feels he has served his commitment to God and to life. As soon as the child is born,
To hell with the kid.
Yeah, not really interested in what happens, whether they get shot. He thinks that AR-15s are fun and that they should be allowed, and that there's no reason for age restriction and things of that nature. He's another one of Trump's sycophant, corrupt lawyers. He was the chief defender and legal strategist for the mob boss and a major collaborator during Trump's impeachment trials. He headed up the effort that called a legitimate election into question, trying to stop the certification just hours after the January 6th assault.
And this
on the
is
Capitol.
why he won't answer any reporters' questions about the big lie about the idea that it's a legitimate election. So in other words, the person who's the number 2 in line for the presidency doesn't believe that the current president is the president, and that other guy down in Mar-a-Lago in the compound down there is the current president, which means he's taking his orders not from government, but from an individual, a citizen, a former president nonetheless, but a citizen who has avowed that given the opportunity, there will be no Constitution.
Absolutely. That's exactly
And that's what
right.
he's taking, and he's number 2 in line. So
He just went down to Mar-a-Lago, to kiss the ring and bow down before his Lord and Master. So we know, and Liz Cheney, I don't know if anybody got a chance to watch a brilliant interview last night on Rachel Maddow's show with Liz Cheney. You could not have 2 more diverse individuals sitting at the same desk.
Yeah.
We all know where Rachel Maddow stands on all of the issues, and we know that Liz Cheney is an avowed conservative.
Stands diametrically opposed to just about every position Rachel Maddow has expressed in the past.
That's right. That's right.
It was an interesting interview because the 2 very far end of the gamut.
Yeah.
And yet together.
As far apart as you can be, and yet, as you say, together. But the reason that I think that was such an impressive interview and went so well is because they are both ethical people. They both have a sense of morality, a sense of decency, a true north. They feel passionately about their beliefs. I can respect and admire people like that.
Yeah.
On
sure.
either side of the conversation, and what Liz has said in her
She
book.
has a new book out. She has a book out now.
Right.
I think it comes out today. Doesn't it
Today,
come out
as a matter of fact,
Yeah.
And it's I think it's called Oath and Honor. Oath and Honor.
And she actually writes a lot, interestingly enough, about Mike Johnson in the book.
Yes. She says that she's really worried about him. He will bend and bow to whatever Trump wants. And he has been an ardent supporter of Trump from the beginning, from the start.
And still is.
Still is.
Yeah.
So apparently, supporting somebody who has been found guilty of rape and who has been found guilty or who has been indicted in 4 other jurisdictions, that's fine with Mike. That's okay because he's a law and order. He's a law and order Speaker of the House. as he likes to say. He also likes to talk a lot about his religion. Apparently, he never read Matthew 6, do not make a show of your religion, because he does that all the time, constantly making a show of his religion. He believes in Christian nationalism. That's who he is. And last but not least, Mike doesn't have a bank account.
Oh, right. That's right. He doesn't really have any money.
He doesn't have a bank account.
He doesn't, yeah.
He just, I don't know how he gets by. I don't know how he pays the mortgage.
He has no account, but he's very rich.
No account.
He just...
That means that Mike is untraceable, folks.
Yeah,
that means we don't know where his money
Completely.
comes from, who he's aligned with. His money could be coming from outside the country for all we know. Okay? So something to truly be worried about. Anyway, I hope that this gave you a sense of who Mike Johnson is, because this is a man who is second in line to the presidency. This is a man who is going to have, sovereign last say over anything that comes to the floor or does not come to the floor in the House. This is a fellow who has shown his extreme right conservative bone. As a matter of fact, on Sunday, the ZOA, the Zionist Organization of America, a very extreme right side group in our country that supports Israel. Nothing wrong with supporting Israel, okay, but there are limits. There is a line. Well, he went to their dinner. He was a featured guest at their dinner, and he was the speaker, and he received the Sheridan G. Adelson Award as Defender of Israel Award. Again, nothing wrong with being supportive.
I gotta. Okay, so this morning I was talking about this. When I was 10 years old and I was in 5th grade, and it was a week after Kennedy had been shot, everybody was talking about, I think adults were really concerned at getting the country focused and back together, because they felt the country was coming apart. And my homeroom nun, my sister Freddie, we called her, she told us time and again the country was together because the founding fathers had Christ at their side, guiding them every day, all the time. But back home in Hilburn, Uncle Mal didn't agree with her at all. And he used to say, oh, no, it wasn't like that. The founding fathers were deists. And that was, when I was 10 years old, I learned the word deist for the first time, or deism, and that is that, as Mal put it, God kick-started the whole shebang, and then it's up to us to figure out what to do with it.
Right.
Separation of church and state. And where we're at now, not just at home, but internationally in the Middle East, is complete boondoggle of the idea of separation of church and state. I'm not saying church or spiritual leaning can't influence decisions made by state, but the grand idea, along with peaceful transfer of power, is separation of church and state. And when Johnson was getting interviewed, they asked him, what are his policies? And he said, I just tell people, go over to your shelf in your house and open up your Bible. Those are my policies. First, chastising them in case they don't know where their Bible is, or perhaps don't have one, or perhaps is not a practicing Christian. Okay, so first, that's not quite an answer.
Marginalizing agnostics
anybody else. So there's no separation of church and state with that statement. But secondly, and I would challenge all the right-wing national evangelicals on this, do you read the Bible? I mean, do you read the Bible? I'm an animist. I read the Bible because I was raised, in a household of animism and Catholicism. So I still read the Bible. Do you read the Bible? Because your interpretation is so wide a field of those little, that little red lettering, the parts that allegedly we attribute to Jesus. It's not there. It's not connected to that. Or at least your understanding of that is way over there. And I think when Johnson makes a statement like that, what bothers me is we don't call him on it.
Yeah.
We don't call him on it. No, you're in office because of your record, because of your background, because of your understanding of policy. Don't give me the subterfuge of go read your Bible, you atheist. Don't tell me that kind of a thing. A, I'm not an atheist, and B, don't apply your understanding of religion to state.
Your judgment Do not judge me.
Yeah.
My God is the simple God. He says, you love him, I'll judge him.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's not your job. I don't need your help to judge people. Okay? I'm the creator of the universe. I can handle this. Okay?
Yep.
So that's the problem. And I don't like anybody who uses his religion, as a cudgel, as a shield, to justify his actions. Listen, if you're a religious person, if you're a God-fearing person, fine. There's no inference here to the negative in any way, shape, or form. That's not what this is supposed to be about. The founding fathers separated church and state when they came over here for a very specific reason. They wanted you to have the freedom of religion.
Or for that matter, the freedom from religion.
Exactly.
That was the whole idea, that they literally were the first emergence of the children of the Enlightenment for making a republic come together, for doing what Mal said. Now, you can have your arguments, I know Hill-burners do, with who Mal was and what he was up to, but he did say, and it's our job to figure this mess out. And that is true. Throwing it back on the Bible or some radical interpretation of the Bible is really a subterfuge. It really is not taking responsibility.
Right. I couldn't agree more. Well, I hope that you got a chance to you have a sense of Mike of Mike Johnson just a little bit better now. I'm going to put a link in underneath this podcast to the Politico article, 55 Things You May Not Know About Mike. Very fair, very balanced. It'll tell you what his good points, and it'll tell you his negative points, things that you should be concerned about. This is not your run-of-the-mill Speaker of the House. This is by no means a Nancy Pelosi. It's not even a Newt Gingrich, okay? This is a very, very different guy. And there's cause for concern, significant cause for concern. That having been said, I hope that you'll learn a little bit more about Mike Johnson, because he's going to be a major player in the months ahead.
Yeah.
And with that,
signing off?
We're going to sign off, and
Okay.
let me just once again introduce Judy Cass, Glenn Rothell, Amy Sosi, and their beautiful song, Common Ground. I love this song.
We all want to be safe. We all want to be warm. We all want to feel loved, know the comfort of home. Want our children to grow, learn to make their own sound. Seems to me we all walk on common ground. Common ground, common ground. We all walk on common ground.
We all wanna be strong, fully free and alive. Take just enough chances, stand up tall and with pride. Yes, we all wanna play, have good friends all around. It seems to me we all walk on common ground. Common ground, common ground. We all walk
On common ground. Some conversations aren't easy, and we wonder how we'll turn this mess around. But if we realize and seek to compromise, we sleep under
one moon, lift our face to one sun, feel the wetness of rain, seek shelter, everyone. Yearn for rest when we're weary, seek solace when we're down. It seems to me we all walk on common ground.
Some conversations aren't easy,
and we wonder how we'll turn this mess around.
But if we realize and seek to compromise, we can meet on common ground. Common ground. We all walk on common ground. Common ground. Common ground. We all walk. I know that we all walk 1 foot forward. We all walk on common ground.